Hey riders, welcome back. Let's check the date out here, folks. It is currently July 25th, Thursday, Muckers Worldwide Championship Series. It's about to go off. Gadoosh. Yeah, I did everything I could this morning to get my streaming setup going. It's a lot of different moving parts here. Two internet systems, using an older PC that's got all the ports but a crappy Wi-Fi antenna. Uh, Maybe it's the streaming software I'm trying to use. I was just trying to use StreamYard. It's browser based. And I'm at the very edge of my Wi-Fi in this room here where I do all my stuff. So anyways, I got it working. I got everything set up. I got dual monitors going. I was ready to roll, but I kept losing connection to the internet, or maybe the requirements on the browser side were so high because I still had internet on my phone that it kept kicking me out. So anyways, folks, we're working on it. It's going to happen. I really don't want to move everything downstairs, but I'm willing to do it. It'll be a lot cooler riding environment. Give me some more room in the man cave. And I've got tons of room in the basement. It's just, there's no daughters at home anymore, so it's wide open. I'm going to set up a cycling museum down there. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're doing one of the climbs from France, La Hourquette, and whatever. Let's just call it Hourquette. Looks like a pretty intense climb here. Total ride today is just over 27 kilometers or 16 miles, roughly 769 meters of climbing. Let's just ballpark that around 2,300 feet, maybe something like that. Yeah, around 2,300, something like that. So the majority of well, in fact, all of the climbing outside of a little false flatty part, actually that's still maybe downhill there, is in the first 2/3. So it's going to be a race to the top. Now, I think if you're in the hitter pack at the front, the big hitters, let me just jump out of this for a second here. Ooh, let's load the map mode now so that we can see everything right away. Map mode is nice and fresh. There we go. Well, looks like an interesting map. Ooh, I'm just scrolling in with the mouse here, wanting to see some details. Not working, folks. Hopefully we see that down the road. Okay, here we go. So yeah, the hitters will be fighting. So you can see the 3 black dots on the bottom. Those are our 3 splits. I'm going to say whoever's leading by that split, whoever can get away by then is going to win. Because then it's going to be, pretty much max speed all the way to the finish. So if you are one of the hitters, you're going to have to go over the top together. Because if someone gets away, I don't think they're going to be caught. It looks steep enough. It looks like it's in that 7 to 8% range stuff. So on this one here, we start out with a little tiny downhill and into the flats, and then we're going to start climbing. And it looks quite steppy in places, step, flat, step, flat. So probably you can see here right now, whichever rider it is we're following here, we're on Redogma right now. Quick 9-10%, then it's going to back off to probably 7%. Let's have a look here. Okay, sorry, 5 to 6% through here. And then it's going to kick up again, probably into 7-8%. Actually got pretty flat there. It's going to give people a chance to get away here. Everyone's just smashing it here. Redogma pushing over 5 watts a kilo. Everyone's going to be just full of energy, rocking up here. Because I think if we get some splits here early, it's going to be very hard to bring them back with the way how stair-steppy it is. Let's rock to the front. Hitter time. My friend Shaunik's here. Great to see Shaunik, very powerful rider. Messaged me a couple times and talked about his weight loss on Rouvy. Power's going up, weight's going down. Like, pretty tough to beat this fellow right here. L. Rowan, French rider here. I forget L's first name. It's funny, for the longest time I just assumed L. Rowan was an American, but nope, definitely not. Lewis 73's back. Haven't seen Lewis in probably a month. We've got a rider here, Curry 2. I'm looking at their levels too. Basic. Basic. Ooh, that's a hard name to say. I'm not really sure what we're seeing there. Italian rider. Fairly new, level 24 rider, Carol Susik. Curry's here. Eduardo Armada's here. Haven't seen the Gura riders for a while. The 1 and 2 have been showing up, and quick question to the Gura riders. Where are the Gura races? I think it was in our Discord. As I say that, look who's leading the race right now. First place, pushing hard, almost 6 watts a kilo. We got a climber at the front here, folks. Lewis is counterattacking here, getting over the top. Are these two going to try to go on a little break? Is this group going to fall apart early? I haven't even gone through the hitters group. We got Plu here, Stefan Schmitz here. So our front hitters group is 9 riders strong at the moment. Bouncing back, Klaus Kinski, who I watched at the Plata Day ride last week. When did I do that ride? I can't remember. Klaus Kinski finished very high up in that one. Was that the last Muckers race? Yeah, that was the last Muckers race last Thursday. I apologize. So yeah, Klaus was there for that. So we've got 9 up front, dropping back a couple hundred meters. We've got Klaus Kinski, Stu, who is Dog Trips. That's Stu. Great chatting with Stu on the YouTube channel, Inside Cycling World. Don't forget, please like, please subscribe. It just makes me want to do more. Putting my time into getting this so I've got a camera going. Ludwig DB, high level rider. I think I've seen them before. They do have a Muckers jersey on. Regina L here. Regina is really strong on the climbs. Very strong on the climbs. It's funny, I think I've been watching Regina now. Sorry, mouse pointer right in the middle of the screen there. I think I first saw Regina at the Tour Down Under events. Pretty sure about that. I'd love to go back and take a look at some of those videos. Okay, we're going to bounce back. Let's take a look at the map. Maybe we can see what's actually going on here. So here's our groups. Purple is our hitters. Yellow would be... the yellow group's going to be right here. Basic, who's with... Actually, he's by himself at this point. He's gotten away from Ludwig and Mike Hagen. Mike Hagen and Ludwig are currently 70 meters behind. Then we've got Klaus Kinski's there, Ghost Killer, Stu Dog Trips. Just a bit more behind, we got Salvatore Caruso. Regina L's right there. So Regina is probably the top lady right now. Don Matteo, another super strong rider. Probably maybe the climb doesn't favor Don at this point. But still, riding at close to 4 watts per kilo. Right with Ginger Jitters. I saw Ginger last week in the Christmas jersey. Probably standing out nice middle of summer. Rocking the Christmas jersey. Praying for Santa Claus to come early this year. We've got Ratim here, Czech friend. Muckers Rider. Redogma. Phil, SC Racing Team. Good to see you, Phil. Duckman 2, seen them earn a lot. David 1951. This guy rides every Muckers and every Team GRC event. Way to support everyone. Stelvio Bound is with David. We're going to back up some more. Simon JP. Awesome job. Keel 27. Looks like a new name to me. Arno Shooten. New name. Miguel Mendez. I wanted to say Menendez there for a second. And then our last rider, 29th place, Cueto 79. Looks like he stopped on course. They're getting back on the bike. Getting back on the bike. I think he did, changing his shoes. Looks like he had a cleat break on the bottom. Just cranking out some power. Snap the cleat. Flashback time, folks. Let's just jump on the front. Good to see Cueto 79 moving here. We're going to jump back to the front. Lewis 73, Carol Susik, Plu. Do we have our 9 still? Yeah. Ooh, we've got 8. We've got 8. Something happened. Something has happened. Who is not there? I swear, I thought there was 9. Maybe there's only 8. Sorry about that. Yep, looks like 8. I don't know this rider at all. For about 65 kilo rider. No, 70 kilo rider. 284 watts, 4 watts per kilo. You got 70 kilos right there. So, not an ultra lightweight climber. Just a good, strong cyclist here. Level 24. New to Rouvy in the last few months, I would say. Finding themselves riding solo, trying to bridge up almost over 500 meters to the next group, to the group of hitters. This is no man's land right here. I'd be wanting to ride with Ghost Killer, Dog Trips, Mike Hagen, Ludwig, Klaus Kinski. Get in there with that group of 5. Look at Regina here. Rocking it. Riding really strong. Regina, super lightweight climber here. Obviously, ladies rider, probably. And I know we're not supposed to call out ladies' weights, but you know, she's just 50 something kilograms, low 50 something kilograms. So she is a climber extraordinaire. Every little bit of climb here, she's going to do very well on. This is her riding grounds right here. I think she might be the only lady at this time slot for the Muckers events. Don't forget that the Muckers Worldwide Championships and their Tuesday races. Do the Tuesday races do that? Okay, anyway, I know for Thursdays that's the really important day. Thursdays where the point standings is. And I'm doing my best here. Hopefully Neil and Kyle don't shake their head too much when they hear this or cringe too much. So I believe it's only Thursdays has the... I'm going to say that's not true. But Thursday does have multiple time slots. Probably 4, maybe even 5 time slots. Because not everyone can ride at the same time. So this is middle of the day for me. This race started at 12:05 p.m. Thursday afternoon. Foregoing my lunch at this point to cover your racing. Thank you. But this is like 7 o'clock at night in the UK. 7:05. So late night riders. I barely even ride late at night. I'm trying to teach myself to do that. I might do it today. But they'll actually have a couple of earlier events, and I think they even have a couple of later ones. And sometimes Neil will also throw in a secondary event, like I think they call it like an add-on race. So what you don't see here is that there's people fighting for the points that may be riding in different time slots. This is the one I cover because it's the big ride of the day. We've got 29 riders right now. Not the biggest turnout I've seen for a Muckers event by any stretch, but like all of us, it's the middle of summer. Most people are outside. But you know what? They say winter is coming. It won't be long till it's cold again, or rainy, blustery, windy, whatever part of the world you live in. So fall's coming. These numbers are going to jump right back up to those 60s and 70s per every ride. And hopefully it keeps growing from there. So Eduardo pushing hard at the front, 6 watts a kilo. Shunnick's right there. L. Rowland, Lewis 73, Carol Susick, Stefan Schmidt, who's just a beast right now. Leading the series. Actually, I didn't get the updated numbers from Neil. Okay, Neil, where are you? Why are you not in this race? Well, I know why. Because Neil's taking a much-deserved rest in Spain right now. I've seen a couple little pics, a couple of highlights from it. I think he's down there for 2 weeks. Spain, a place I'd love to go to. I think the only reason I haven't yet is because it's probably 8 to 10 hours of air travel to get there. There probably is a direct flight from here. So where I live in Alberta, we have an airline called WestJet Regional, but they now do international flights. Like I can fly direct from here to Hawaii, which I did. Hated it. Just too long of a flight for me, red eye. So they might have a flight to Spain somewhere. Most likely probably have to go to London first. But yeah, would love to go to Spain at some point. Just, it's a long time to spend on a plane. I'd probably need to go for a month. So I don't know who Curry 2 is. Riding strong at the front here. 7 watts per kilo. 6.5, 7 watts per kilo. Probably a 65 kilogram rider. What would you say, everyone? 60 maybe? Hard to tell. Numbers are bouncing a lot. 7. Yeah. Maybe even a little bit more than that. So looking good at the front with Eduardo here. Looks good to me. It's bounced further back. So Cueto 79. So that's why Neil's not here, folks. Neil's taking his vacation. Hopefully he's working on his tan. He's got the Speedo out. He is killing it on the beaches somewhere in, I don't know, Madrid. I don't know. There's even beaches in Madrid, is there? Maybe it's Barcelona. Barcelona. Okay, so we got Miguel Mendez here. Simon JP is looks like had a little bit of an issue on the side of the road. Looks like the pedestrians are out. Someone had a loose dog. So we got a problem here with Simon. Hopefully he gets back on here and continues on. Give her Simon. Arno shooting. Keel 27. Stelvio bound. Let's take a look at the map again, folks. Looks like David was pushing hard there, getting away from Stelvio bound at the moment. So we can see our little packs of people. This is going to just splinter here. So if you're one of those hitters, you got to be at the front. You got to stick together over that top. I'm expecting Ooh, Plu not connected. So hopefully Plu has the route downloaded and is now still pedaling as fast as they possibly can. I'd love to see it happen, because it does happen. And I'm still under the impression that you need to have the route downloaded. Because let's just say that Plu has lost connection with the server and they don't pedal. That may not be true either. Just keep pedaling. Keep pedaling, keep pedaling, keep pedaling. Keep riding like you're riding with one of the hitters at the front. You need to do 4 watts a kilo by yourself as you're sitting. And then when you reconnect, whether it be your end, somewhere in the middle, Rouvy's end, it should reposition you with where you would have been based on your continually pedaling. If you just sit there waiting for it to reconnect, you're not doing anything. You are absolutely just sitting there. In the past, I've always just assumed this only works if you've got the route downloaded, but I'm not 100% positive about that. Okay, and it looks like Basic, still riding solo, but check this out. Here comes Klaus. Here comes Mike Hagan. Here comes Dog Trips. Ludwig not that far behind them, with Don Matteo just following from behind. Salvatore Caruso, Regina L looking strong in 16th place overall at the moment, with more climbs coming. Ratim just hanging onto her wheel. Let's just hang out here for a little bit. We know the hitters are on a flatter section right now, and see what happens here. So we can watch Ratim go over Regina's shoulder, spinning, 75 to 80 RPMs. Let's see how Regina's riding. Oh, she's riding a little bit lower cadence. Maybe apply. Oh, sorry, that's Ratim. Apologize. Here's Regina L. How is this climb going to be for her? She's pushing 4 watts a kilo here. Ratim's actually moving away at this point. Giving it a little dig, actually. Okay, so that does give us a chance to go back to the front. Curry 2, Lewis 73. So I think we're going to be sticking together to the second checkpoint. Sorry, the second split. You can call it checkpoint if you want, I guess. Which is just under 50% of the way. Then we start into a little bit of a descent. You're probably going to have a little bit of a rest for, say, maybe 500 meters, 700 meters, something like that. And then I think there's going to be some furious attacks up this climb right here. If you look at the bottom of the screen on the profile, up through here, someone might go early, someone might go late. There just may be attack after attack. I believe that's what's going to happen. Usually how I would see this going down is if we've still got the 8 together, which I think there might be some attrition before then. Let's have a look. Oh, and yes, we already have attrition. So, yeah, so we've lost Plu. We had 8. I was just getting caught off guard there for a second. Plu has not reconnected. That's why our group of 7 at the front, our group now is only 6 because we lost Plu. And it looks like L. Roland's fallen back. I'm not sure where they lost contact. It would have been in this flat section somewhere. Maybe through the kick here. Just fell out the back. As soon as you're more than 20 meters back, you're gone. You're going to have to do like an absolute power bomb. And when I say power bomb, I'm talking about the move from the good old days of the WWF, when the power bomb wrestling maneuver would be used, where you basically pick someone up over your head and smash them into the mat. Yeah, good old wrestling days. Okay, don't even watch it anymore. That was a kid thing. Again, I said in the past, Stampede Wrestling, which was kind of the entry point for a lot of wrestlers into the WWE in the 80s, was based in Calgary, Alberta. It was huge. It's not there anymore. I think they tried to bring it back a couple times. It's where all the Harts live, like Bret Hart, Keith Hart, Bruce Hart, Owen Hart. The Hart brothers, they all lived in Calgary, hometown. So L. Roland finds himself alone. He's a kilometer ahead of the Basic, Klaus, Mike Hagan group. And that group split up as well. So Mike Hagan and Klaus were able to catch Basic. Stu slipped back a bit, or is more hanging out with Don Matteo at the moment. Okay, we're just going to bounce back a little bit. So Cueto 79 is caught and passed Miguel Mendez. Both giving it a good ride. 2 watts a kilo here. Both these riders. Miguel's a bit lighter. Yeah, Cueto looking good. Moving up, Arno shooting. Ghost Killer. Ghost Killer just put his foot down for second. Forgot a water ball. Okay, look at him. He's back moving just as I said it. It just gets passed by Arno shooting. Keel 27, Stelvio bound. David 1951. Okay, so here's Plu Plu. Plu Plu never got reconnected. Very unfortunate. So frustrating when that happens. Hey, Simon's moving too. Great job. Excellent job, Simon. Okay, going to move forward here. What was the last thing I was talking about there? I forget. And take a look at this. Eduardo pushing hard at the front. It's got 8 meters between himself and Curry. 13 meters back to Lewis. Shunnick. We got a long string of riders here now. Oh, even Stefan. Stefan is holding on for dear life. Holding on. It's growing. Take a look at the map, folks. Stefan Schmidt just sitting in the middle of no man's land at the moment. Then L. Roland's further back. The good thing about that is that if Stefan does pop off the back, he's going to have L. Roland to help him. Maybe they can work together at that point. So, like I said, there's going to be some attrition up this hill before we get to the descent. There's going to be continuous attacks here. So, again, but look at this. Holding strong. You know, you got this group ahead that's kind of strung out. Stefan holding strong here. So 50 meters up the road, we have Carroll. And yeah, it's blowing apart now, folks. A further 30 meters up the road, we have Shunnick from Poland. Another 40 meters up the road, we are now with the trio of three. The lone trio. Lewis 73, who I've seen climb before, very good climber, lightweight. Looks like, yeah, I mean, what's this going to be? Luis 73 has got to be in that just low 60 kilogram weight. Something like that. Maybe right around 60 kilograms. Actually, maybe a bit under. Yeah, looks like to me like just slightly under. So, extremely lightweight, pesky climber. That's how I like to define them. Eduardo looks like he's putting in another dig again. He knows he's got them under pressure right now. Look at this go down. He knows it. Pushes hard, 7.5 watts a kilo, up just a little 5% grade at this point, knowing that there's a flat coming, hoping to accordion effect it out. I wish I had the camera on. If you've never seen someone play the accordion, I would be an example of it right now. But check this out. Luis 73 makes a counterattack, comes over his shoulder. But look, the damage has been done here, folks. The damage has been done. Curry, too, is desperately fighting to get back on, pushing, you know, over 6 watts a kilo, trying to get back on. Get off the grass there, dude. You're going to slow yourself down. Pulling Eduardo back. Great job here. Now, looks like Luis's counterattack has put a gap into both of them. He's got a 20-meter lead right now. Let's go hit the map, folks. Let's get back to this map, see what's going on. So close together, it's hard to tell at this point, but you can see the other riders coming up the climb. So we are only 13 meters back to Curry. Curry knows it's now or never. If they don't get on Luis 73's wheels right now, it's over. Eduardo is doing the same thing, reacting. Let's go, Eduardo. Very strong rider. So Eduardo right around, you know, a 70 kilogram rider, so not super lightweight, not a big bulky rider either though. I thought Carroll would have been there, but Carroll's probably one of the best riding partners you can find in Shunnick here. These two should work very well together. And then we've got Stefan Schmidt, who is now solo. Either he's going to have to... What is he going to do here? Can he claw his way back or wait for L. Roland? Might be kind of tough to do, because, I mean, Stefan looks like he's capable of riding well over 4 watts a kilo all the way. L. Roland's riding 3.5 to 4 watts a kilo. Have to keep an eye on that. How's the back end doing? Okay, looks like Ghost Killer has had an accident. Parked up here along these houses. We've got Miguel Mendez. Hey, awesome. Hey, and I just noticed this as well. Miguel Mendez is only a level 5 rider. Level 5. Now, it doesn't take much. Again, just a lot of repetition here, folks. But I don't know when you start watching my videos. Level 5 means you might be riding for a week. In fact, I did a really cool, this gives me something to discuss. Let's jump back on the front though. I don't want to miss anything up front. Wow, look at this. Eduardo is back on now and pushing hard again. So on these little ups and downs, like stair stepping up, it's giving riders of different abilities. So Luis is right here. Curry now finds himself just hanging on. Are they going to be able to break him? We're actually entering a steeper segment here. That's probably going to see us in the 11-12% range. I think Curry needs to do everything in his power to get back on now, or they could be blown right out the back. Now he is pulling them back slowly. That's because they're in the steeper part. Let's see what happens on the other side. Okay, he's pushing 6 watts a kilo. Our other friends up the road are doing 5.5 side by side, shoulder to shoulder riding here. Greg LeMond, Bernard Hinault days of the side to side shoulder riding. Okay, so they're not side to side. One's chasing the other, but you get the drift, right? Curry still pushing hard, but pushing slightly less power here. And the gap is opening. We're out to 35 meters now. So Curry may find themselves in no man's land very quickly here. Maybe thinking, I may be riding with the Shunnick Carol Susick group real quick. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Yeah, so regarding that level 5 rider, I did a great ride yesterday. Support these rides if you can. So yesterday I did the Monument Valley ride. I think it's 41 kilometers. It was a group ride. It's also part of a challenge right now. But the beauty of it is that it was group ride leader was Chris Lieferman. Now Chris is a professional triathlete. I think he's based out of Colorado. Obviously he's got some kind of ambassador status with, I'm just guessing, if he's leading the group ride. He's got to have some kind of, this must be a relationship between Rouvy and the triathlete series. I forget the name of the triathlon series he's part of, but currently he's 5th overall in the series. I think he won Coeur d'Alene. Yes, I do research my stuff. He's got a bunch of top finishes. I think he was 2nd at Mont Tremblant. I mean, 2nd to Lionel Sanders. Yes, that's right. Lionel Sanders. Love that guy. That guy's pretty intense. Lionel's probably one of the older guys now out there. The thing that really always caught me about Lionel, and I love watching triathlon, but I don't ever want to do one. Like, I never want to train for 3 sports at once. Running, cycling, and swimming. I think I would have to lose too much weight to protect my legs against the pounding of the running. One sport's enough for me. So it's pretty incredible to watch these triathletes. So yeah, you can see here at this point, these two have gotten away. So we've had massive attrition in this race. We had 8 riders starting this part of the climb. Sorry, 7. We lost L. Rowland somewhere in this segment down here in the false flatty areas. We lost 5 more riders in this climb alone. We're down to the lone duo. Let's jump back. See our level 5 rider. So Ghost Killer didn't get back. So level 5 rider here. This rider is so new to Rouvy. So fantastic to see him. Still riding an official Rouvy bike. Hasn't earned enough coins yet to buy a climbing bike. Something a little bit lighter. Here he's finally catching up with Plu Plu. Still sitting broken down on the side of the course. Team car never showed up. Neutral service never showed up. What a disappointment here, folks. So when I did the time trial event yesterday, again, ridden as a group ride, which means you're going to receive the magnet effect. Group rides do not count towards the challenges. So I think it's the Credo Tri Challenge. There's 5 events. That Monument Valley ride yesterday, which takes you through Monument Valley in the States, is part of the Credo Tri Challenge. I rode it as a group ride, so I don't get credit for the challenge. When you do a challenge ride, it cannot be a group ride. That's all I can say, because you get too much assist from the group ride. But the beauty of it is, with this Rouvy/pro triathlete relationship that they have, is that you get a ton of coins. A ton. So I think originally I was going to get like 579 coins for doing that road. Well, I think I got like 1,600 coins for doing that group ride So basically, an easier version of the ride than if I had done it by myself. The big point I'm trying to make here is that when that ride started yesterday, Chris Lieferman, pro triathlete, was a level 1 rider. And by the end of the ride, and I didn't actually check the very, very end, but I saw them. I tried to stick with them all the way. I didn't want to get too far ahead. I was on a Specialized Shiv. He was on a Rouvy bike. He was a level 1 rider. And somewhere during that ride, he bounced to level 2. And then I watched him bounce to level 3. Maybe he made it to level 4. And that was just in a 41-kilometer ride. So you can see here, a level 5 rider is like brand new to Rouvy. So all I can say is good job turning out, showing up for these really tough races. So we can say that about both McGill and Arno. These are both brand new riders to Rouvy. You could do 1 or 2 rides and be level 5. If you did one long ride, you'd be level 5. Probably like a 70K ride or something. In fact, let's keep a good eye here and see if we can see his level change during this ride. Let's always remember McGill, because I don't know if I've ever caught that. So when I see people's ride change, it's when I'm riding, I see my own level change, or if I'm riding with others. I don't know if you see it in watch mode. Let's little experiment. So anyways, that was a great event yesterday. I got a nice, we pushed hard at times. We were pushing 3 watts per kilo in places. It wasn't like I was riding on the back, riding at 20% of my ability at 1 watt per kilo or something, just coasting. I took my poles. I did a lot of working up front, giving Chris a draft. I'm sure he could have just blown any of us out of the water at any point he wanted. I'm also guessing that since he was a level 1, he's not super familiar with Rouvy and the ride mechanics of the group ride. At one point in the ride, probably 3/4 of the way in, I pushed pretty good. And then I noticed that Chris was falling all the way back to pick up a couple of riders at the back. Which probably didn't really have to, but it's just really nice, I guess, group leader etiquette to go back and help those riders, get even a better pull back to the front. I actually let off 0 watts per kilo and went back as well to try to help out. Just maybe to help give Chris a bit of a draft. So yeah, awesome ride for these really, seriously pro triathletes. 2 riders left. We've done the flat stuff. This is where it's going off, folks. One of these 2 riders is going to win right here. You can see already, Eduardo just goes straight into that 6 watt per kilo range, and maybe he's just going to sit there for a while. Starts out 6%. It's going to level off a bit, probably to 3%, and then we're going to kick right back up. Nothing insanely steep coming up, but I think we're going to see some 9-10% perhaps. Just from body weights, and I've seen Luis 73 ride maybe 2 or 3 times. I think Luis has a bit of an advantage on the steepest part of these climbs here. We can see Curry 2 is hanging just a couple 100 meters back behind them. Hasn't been caught. Karel Susik is in 4th with Shunik, riding very well together. They still haven't caught Curry. I thought that would have came back together. Stefan Schmidt still riding solo. Long, lonely day for Stefan. I think Stefan's main thing here is to stay away from El Roland again because they're very close in the points championship. Then we're back to basic solo. Klaus Kinski, 50 meters ahead of Mike Hagan. Let's just hang out on Mike for a second. I just want to see if Klaus Kinski just kind of, his avatar will pop back in here. Yeah, this scenery looks fantastic here. Wide, sweeping valleys. Oh, we do really want that mouse pointer on the screen. Let's see if he pops back in. I think generally you're only going to see them on long straights. If they're around the bend, the avatar doesn't want to ghost in and out that much. It just wants to stay hidden. Probably out now. He's out to 80 meters, so usually it's about 80 meters where you'll start seeing the avatar. So maybe we won't see it. Then we got Don Matteo just ahead of Stu with bike and dog trips. Ludwig and Ratim riding side by side. Followed up with Salvatore Caruso and Regina. So Ratim did get away from these two and caught up with, looks like Ludwig. Probably looks like he caught Ludwig. Got Simon JP. Yep, riding good now. Yep, Simon's doing a great job here. Good, powerhouse, strong, solid rider, 90 kilograms. Right in my vicinity. Redogma here. So these are the riders we've lost out the back. Ghost Killer we've lost. We've lost Plu Plu. McGill Mendez still doing it. Get it, McGill. And Arno. Arno's doing good too. Again, very new rider. Level 9. Cueto was at the back for a while. Looks like they passed 2 riders. I'm getting back to the front here to see what's going on. Ooh, look at this. Luis has got a 14-meter gap over Eduardo. Very close though. You know, 0 draft here. But you know what? There's always the mental draft. Whenever you see someone just ahead of you, it gives you just that little bit of extra to hang on, to push that little bit harder. So it's the mental draft. Luis is pushing extremely hard here. Eduardo just matching, knowing he's got to push harder at times. Luis just sitting at 6.2 watts per kilo. Let's take a look at this here, folks. What's going on here? 6.4, 6.5 watts per kilo, all the way up this guy. And I got to say, Luis is like sub 60 kilograms, 57, 58 kilos. So like, you know, pro level weight, looks like to me. 382. Okay, I'm going to have a little quick mental mind games here. If I can do this quickly. Yeah, no, sorry. 335.1. Yeah, probably, you know what? 55 kilograms, folks. Let's have a good look at this. A few disconnect issues there. Yeah, and Eduardo comes over his shoulder. So, I do see that a lot. It's not a real disconnect. It's just the way it's talking to the server or something. I've seen that with lots of riders before where it looks like they put a foot down every so often. Foot down, foot down. Goes every couple of minutes it does it. It's just something with your setup at home. All I can say is probably, yeah, download the event. And if possible, plug in. Be hardwired. I mean, that's what I've been having problems this morning with getting my streaming setup done. So I had it so that you could see my pretty smiling face on camera. I could see what was going to be streamed. I had the actual Rouvy app on a 60-inch TV. And that's where I'd be cloning. I'd extended my screens. So basically I had to slide the mouse back and forward. It was such a struggle this morning. I probably spent 2.5 hours on it. I could see the mouse on my TV, and then I'm like, why is it not working on my computer? It's just that the mouse was so small on the computer, I couldn't see it sliding across. Had to change everything up. Had it all working, and then I just kept losing connection to the server. So, what I've learned, I wanted to do this because I didn't think my PC was strong enough. Maybe it is. Take a look at this. Eduardo's gone. He went over the shoulder on some flatter stuff and now has a 60-meter gap into Luis. That happened as I was talking. So I'm going to watch that back later and see exactly when it happened. It's amazing what I don't see happening as this is going off, because I think I'm watching really close. So here we go, folks. Eduardo will be over the top first, and then he is gone like a rocket man. I bet you he's going to put in a little bit of a dig right at the top just to start accelerating as quick as he possibly can. Let's watch the gap grow. So we're already out to 115 meters because he's on some flatty stuff. Last kick over the top, close to 7 watts per kilo. Bang, right on 7 there as I said it. Going down the hill, took a breath, changing gears, getting into it. The gap will just grow now. At this point here, I don't think there's any chance of Luis 73 coming back. I'm just going to say it. Eduardo, very strong rider. And he already has a 300-meter gap on Luis. Eduardo being a larger cyclist, Luis being ultra pesky, does not have a weight advantage going down this hill. So Eduardo will get up to speed quicker and just rocket away. This distance should stabilize after a while. You know, there is a little bit of a flat here. It gets slightly less downhill, but I think they're going to be so close to top speed. You can see here, Eduardo is virtually at top speed being 72 kilometers an hour. So yeah, it has stabilized right around 375 to 380 meters. The gap is stabilized now. That was the time from when, that's just by Eduardo's over the top bombing down. Luis was just trying to get to the top. And so as he's traveling at 18 kilometers an hour, Eduardo's already bombing down the hill at 40 to 45, trying to get to top speed. 385. He's going to hold his speed better. So this is where being a bigger, more powerful rider comes to your advantage. Other things to consider too is more aerodynamics. The bikes do matter. Curry 2 sitting 2 kilometers back, just getting to the top of the climb with only a 275 meter gap over Shunik and Kirill Susik here. So did very well to stay away. Now he's going to accelerate away like a demon through the third split at the bottom here. Bouncing back to the front, we've still got that 370 meter gap between the two riders. So now it's just for Eduardo to, if I was Eduardo, if I could ever be this good of a cyclist, all compliments to Eduardo here, I would just be matching whatever Luis 73 does. That's all he needs to do. Just match what Luis does. And it's clear sailing. There's no way he can catch you then. So, especially at the speed. We're going to be basically at top speed all the way down. I keep saying it. We will slow down a little bit through the false flatty stuff here. And it's a downhill false flatty, so looks like it's probably only in the 2 to 3% range. Here we've got our other two compatriots, Shunik and Kirill Susik, chasing together. Stefan Schmidt just getting to the top. Not far now, Stefan. Great job. Wow, this is a shocker to me. L. Roland has pulled back a ton of distance on Stefan. I didn't see this happening. As in, I didn't see this happening, and I didn't see this happening. I thought Stefan was going to just rocket away. I thought L. Roland was struggling a bit, but looks like they've got it back together, got a second wind, and this happens, folks. Sometimes I ride, I start out strong, middle of the ride, I start getting a little bit, my heart rate maybe is getting a bit jazzed up, and then I see that there's only 10 or 12 kilometers to go, I start picking it up again. I kind of get like a second wind on my bike. I've kind of settled in, I've gotten through the rough and ragged parts. So really impressive here to see L. Roland pulling back, because I thought he was a lot further back before. Yeah, great job. Here's Basic, Klaus Kinski, Mike Hagan. Let's go back and check McGill out. McGill, yes, looking good. And McGill has passed Arno Schuten. Both are riding at their own pace. That's all they're doing here. They're just in, let's get up this baby. Heading back to the front. Eduardo, 2.5. Luis, 2 point something. 3. Big gap. We're out to 400 meters now. And actually, let's just stick here because we are coming through that flatter stuff. See how much they slow down. So we've been going through some bends, some flatter stuff. We're in the 56, 57 kilometer an hour range. Probably going to pick up right here. It steepens up again. And I think it's going to flatten again. So it's probably going to be flattening through some of these corners. Yeah, you can see it right here. There's some bends in the road where it's flattened it out. Speed's going to drop a little bit. Now he's going to accelerate again. Hit 56. Should be picking up. And he's going to start taking off again here right now. Looks like he's going to take off and maybe one more little flat. Luis, 330 meters back. So he's pulled some of that back. That's the accordion effect kicking in again. As Eduardo is on the flat stuff, or flatter, Luis is still on the downhill stuff. I expect it to grow it again. Watch it grow again now. So that 330 became 383 right away. Luis is stuck on the flatter stuff. Eduardo is on the steeper stuff. Let's take a look. So Luis is at 62 kilometers an hour. Eduardo's at 65. And it's going to get really steep here again right away. 8, 9%, 12% here. Yep. Eduardo is just loving life right now. He's probably watching Netflix, having some nice drinks on his bike, rehydrating. Essentially, at this point, you're in recovery mode now. If you can ride this downhill section at 2 watts a kilo, start your recovery. The only thing here is you got to watch your spinning because it's probably going to keep your heart rate so high. I know mine would be. Luis probably knows he's not going to catch him. There is a slight bit of flatter stuff at the bottom here, but it's right at the very end. They're going to be coming out, you know, almost full speed into that flatter section. Curry 2, pursuing them. Just pushing a bigger gear, looks like. Let's have a good look at this, folks. 5 watts a kilo down the hill here. Interesting. So, yeah, still about a 70 kilogram rider. Very, very low RPMs. Just like, you know, pushing a massive gear. That's my guess. Just massive. Someone had a good question in the YouTube. There, you know, do you think a lot of the serious guys are actually changing equipment and stuff for some of the races there? And I'm like, yeah, probably. What I said was probably the best thing to do is, you know, next time I upgrade my trainer, smart bike for virtual gearing. Just because then you can pre-select your gear ratio before the event. From what I've been told, because there's a few guys in the Discord that have them, you can't like just change the gears randomly as you're riding in the event. Like you can't say, oh, I want to climb this up the climb, and then on the downhill I want all extra big gears to bomb down the hill. Doesn't work like that. You have to pre-select your gears, but obviously you'd want something big here. And I don't even know how far you can go. It's something I'm going to do some research on that. Like, how big of a gear could I have to use on this down here? Could I have like a 58 tooth or something on the front? A 60? Because I'd love to. How realistic are the gear range setups? I've never thought about that either. Like, you know, I know like on a mechanical setup, like what I have, and mine's a cyclocross bike, I have a 50 for my big ring. I have a 36 for my small. Maybe it's a 34. I'll double check that. I wanted to put a 52 or a 53 on the front, and my bike shop guy's like, you can't. Your derailleur can't handle it. It can't handle that big of a jump. Like you're almost at the limit right now of that jump you're doing from the 36 up to the 50 or the 34 up to the 50, whatever. I think it's 34 actually. Could you put a bigger one on? I don't know. Like, so and look at this. Here's Eduardo coming into the finish right now. First place for Eduardo. Awesome. Luis coming in. Luis. I keep saying Luis. I'm sorry. Following. So it was that last attack that Eduardo put in. Got that 50-meter gap. And then he was gone. He was the first over the top of that hill. And then gonzo. But great job for Luis, 73 here. We're on Curry. So I guess, just jumping back again. Let's say you are riding a smart bike. Could you put gears on that are unrealistic? Like, so like I was saying on my bike, mechanically I can't. My derailleur cannot handle the jump. But could I put that on a virtual gearing bike? Could I put like a 32 on the front and like a 60 for the big ring? Or will it say, nah, that's fake? You know what I'm saying? Is that possible? Could someone answer? That'd be great to know. I'm going to ask the guys in the Discord because they'll give me an answer right away. But I do know from the guys in the Discord, don't forget, again, the Discord. Please join the Discord. It's the Discord for this channel, for Team GRC. We've got a ton of members in there. Jump in, get in there, chat bikes, chat training, chat nutrition, chat bike racing, chat soccer, football. Sorry, my apologies for my Euro friends. So here comes Curry into the finish line. So I guess we're going to bounce back. So Curry's got third place sewed up. We've got Shunnick here resting. Yeah, good resting. On the down here, bringing the heart rate down. Just basically coasting. Just waiting to put that big sprint in against Carroll. These two have ridden this in, a long way together. And then looking further back, we've got Stefan and El Roland. El Roland is not that far back. I'm going to have a quick peek. El Roland, 348 back, because Stefan got over the top first. Great job by El Roland to recover, get the second wind. Here we go, folks. 400 meters to go. Winding it up. Pushing hard. I think Shunnock will go for the 4th place. He's very racy. Here we go. Pushes out to 8 watts a kilo here. 9 watts a kilo. Carroll hanging right in there, though. So Shunnock just got, I guess, was that a photo finish? Almost. Carroll was right there. They carried so much speed into the finish. I don't think there was a lot of room to accelerate away. They were already going fast to start with. So when you drop 10, 11 watts a kilo at that point, it doesn't do a lot. You're almost at top speed. So great ride with those two. Here's Stefan Schmidt, cruisy down the hill right now, recovering. Knows it's virtually impossible for El Roland to get back on now. I wonder if you could coast all the way down the hill. Can Stefan basically coast down the hill and stay away? I think so. If he does, it's going to be very, very light, like super light, soft pedaling. Yeah. 1 watt per kilo, 1 to 2. This is very light stuff for Stefan here. El Roland pushing a little bit harder back. He's going to have to if he wants to make up that room. At this speed, you really can't even make it up. So yeah, he can just kind of basically coast all the way to the finish, which is pretty awesome. I know yesterday on that TT group ride, I did a lot of coasting on that Monument Valley ride. There was kind of like 3 climbs in it. And I know on the 2nd and 3rd climbs I was feeling it, because even though you're on a group ride, the TT bike, it's quite a negative on the climbs. So I would just drift back 20, 30 meters, get a bit of an assist, pull myself forward. Then on the flats at the top and the little downhills, I would have to hold back a lot because I would just start coasting away from them. There was one other rider on yesterday's ride that was actually on a TT bike. Everyone else is on standard road bikes. So here comes Stefan into the finish. What are we at? So the race time was 45 minutes, 19 seconds. We're just 4.5 minutes behind here. So Stefan has 6th place sewn up, unless there's some kind of catastrophic accident here at the end. Could you imagine riding on these roads? Wow, just insane. If you make a mistake on these roads, you got nothing soft to hit. There's no grass. There's no side embankment to hit. It's just something solid. Careful through here, guys. Watch the traffic. There we go. Stefan, yep, look at him. Still coasting because he's carrying so much speed right into the finish. Love this. That's how it's done. Stefan 6th, El Roland 7th. So whatever the point standings are, Stefan should have just increased it a tiny bit more since they're finishing right behind each other. Then we've got Basic. Not really sure how you say your name. It could be something totally different, but Basic's good for now. 8th place. And we've got Klaus coming down the hill hard, pushing hard, but kind of like just winding the engine up. Okay, so flatter through here. So on this flatter part, Basic's really slowed down. Because he's not really pushing any power at all here. Needs to get back up to speed, or there's a chance Klaus could come back here if he lets him. But it's going to steepen up right away. Interesting. Don Matteo with Mike Hagan. And then we've got Stu Dog Trips, who is just on the descent now. 400 meters ahead of Ludwig. Ratim. Ooh, nice group here. We got Simon, Salvatore Caruso, and Regina L all together. See, did you see that happen there? Simon JP just did a foot down step there. I saw it earlier too. I watch everything I can, folks. I saw this happen to Simon. So I think Simon said it, but like talks, loses connection, but so quickly it's not like a real disconnect. And then he just resets himself. Let's get back up here. I wanted to watch these two because I thought maybe Basic was going a little bit too soft. But yeah, he's back up to full speed now. Coasty mode, super cruisy. I think Klaus was trying hard there to get back on. Probably now realizes there's not really a chance at this speed, so why push any harder than this? Mike Hagan, Dom Matteo. I think these two will battle for a finish together. Simon, Salvatore, Regina. Simon wants to get over that top first. Yeah, Simon, you get it, dude. Get over the top. You might drop these two. Well, and he's already shelling them out the back. So Simon's made an attack here. Perfect move by Simon. This is race strategy at its best, folks. I've said it like a billion times. Get over the top first. Put a hill between you and the other riders. So what Simon did there was dig deep, push some big numbers. He's going to be over the top first. So he's the bigger, more powerful rider. He's got gravity on his side. The second he gets over the top, you're going to see this 100 and something meters back to Salvatore. There's the foot down thing again. Uh-oh. Come on, Simon. Uh-oh. Wow, I don't like to see this. Okay, let's watch this closely. Because what would have happened if Simon would have gotten over the top there first? He would have just accelerated away so fast. I hope he hasn't had a total disconnect here, because here come the two other riders past him. We're going to let them go past, and hopefully he's continually pedaling. Basic now down to 125 meters. Not just freewheeling anymore. Sees Klaus Kinski coming up behind him here. Klaus pushing, hard in places. Realizing if Basic goes to sleep, he could catch him. I think we're close enough that it'll stay around here. Then we've got Dom Matteo with Mike Hagan. I'm ready for that sprint. Oh, that's so disappointing for Simon. Yeah. Wow. It looks like he had a total disconnect there. Very frustrating. So I think he would have just accelerated away from these two. He had a 110 meter gap at the top. He would have been over the top and just gone. Remember when Eduardo went over the top ahead of Luis, he only had a 60 meter gap and finished 400 meters ahead of him, 380 meters, whatever it was. So here's Basic. Gap, very coasty here. Here comes Klaus Kinski, but here's the final. We've got a little bend to the right in the road, and then we see the finishing chute. So awesome job, Basic. I don't know you. Level 24. Thanks for coming out. Klaus Kinski finishing directly behind him in 9th place. Dom Matteo, Mike Hagan. Entering the final stretch now. Power's coming up again. Dom Matteo, 8 watts a kilo. Pushing hard, trying to get away. Almost 11 watts per kilo. Mike Hagan right there. Right there. So again, that was one where it's kind of hard to sprint when you're almost at top speed. You're already doing like 68, 70 kilometers an hour. You're putting all that power down and you're not going any faster. That would be a good reason why I think maybe, okay, I'm going to say it. Before I said I don't really care if what the top speed is going downhill. I think it's fast enough. Everyone's kind of limited to that top speed. But in a situation like that, ooh, look at this. We got 3 coming together here now. So Ratim and Ludwig just caught up with Stu. Dog trips here. So in that situation there, I'm going to watch these 3 at the finish. Ooh, Stu says, no, I'm going again now. Let's say if you're sprinting for the finish at 70k an hour and you're already flying along at top speed, and you go into your highest gear and you sprint, whatever gear it is you sprint in, and you're putting out huge watts, but your speedometer maxes at 72, you can't get away anymore at that point. So maybe top speed does need to be increased. I know I can't sprint at 72k an hour. I know a lot of pros very easily can sprint at 72k an hour at the end. I know this is virtual cycling, it's a cycling simulator, but why not? Otherwise, it's like you're just going to coast to the finish beside each other. But I'm going to try to watch here closely and see what the numbers look like. At that point, I'm probably going to jump away, get some stuff taken care of here at home today. I might start moving the entire setup. Simon's back. Yes, it worked, folks. Simon is back. I love this so much. I'm so glad I saw this happen. So take a look at this. Look at our friend Simon here. Simon JP, 90 kilogram rider. And look at this. Remember how he broke down before? Simon probably listened to me. And there's his foot down thing again. Disconnect. He's back on. So Simon's got something going on here with his router. Disconnecting off and on, off and on, off and on. That first time was bad. He kept riding through it though. And so you can see here, remember he was 110 meters ahead of these two? These two are side by side. He's now 500 meters ahead of them because he kept riding through that whole disconnect that he was sitting on the side of the road. If you would have thrown your arms in the air and given up, let's get back to the front. Okay, so I thought I might have missed something there. If he would have given up, thrown his arms in the air, whipped his water bottle, screamed at his dog, yeah, don't do that. It's not nice. He would have just actually sat there, but he rode through it. Very frustrating, but do it. That's what you need to do when that happens. Because when it does disconnect, Rouvy repositions you on the screen, and next thing you know, you're back ahead of them. So, awesome job. So, he did pull off a great move there. He attacked at the very end, knowing he needed to get over the top first, use his gravity advantage, we'll call it, to pull away from those two other riders who are, I know Regina's an ultra lightweight. Salvatore, I'm not really sure. I didn't have a good look at those numbers. So getting close to the finish here. I want to see what our top speed is going to the finish. And watch these riders sprinting at 9 and 10 watts per kilo and see that they're actually hitting the speed limit. So at that point, it kind of makes the sprint ineffective. I hope I'm coming across well there with that. Maybe that could be tweaked a little bit. So we're just going to watch these three for now. And I can see Simon's disconnected again behind us. So it appears as if he's behind them. And I have no idea what's causing that problem. Look at this here. I just saw Stu pushing 9 watts a kilo there. He's trying to get away before the finish. But these two other riders are right here. And they're just cruising down here. Stu's pushing extremely hard at top speed. Not going to pull away. See here? Stu's not getting any benefit here because he's maxed out. The other rider's been resting pretty much. So yeah, we're basically at top speed, 72k an hour. So if you sprinted now, you're not going to go any faster. We're at top speed. I think that's something that should be addressed. Someone finished their 11 watts per kilo. So I hope it makes sense there. Please comment. They're going into the finish at top speed. Sprinting at 11 watts a kilo versus going at 2 watts a kilo is not going to make any difference. In reality, if you did drop at 11 to 12 watt per kilo sprint here at 72k an hour, it should probably zip you up to 74, 75 really quick, and you can get away from the other person that's just coasting. So I'm looking to see if Simon will. So this is interesting here. So it's saying Simon's in 17th because I've seen some weird stuff happen where afterwards in the leaderboards, I'm like, hey, how did he finish ahead of me? That's probably what happens. So Simon has got, let's just call it a wishy-washy setup. I don't know what Simon's setup is. His setup is probably the same as everyone else, but where he's got his router, there's a wall in the way, there's interference. The microwave, he likes to run his microwave 24 hours a day and it's causing interference. He keeps disconnecting, but he keeps riding through it. So I've seen events where a rider that I passed because they were broken down, I see them disconnected, that I passed, I finished the event, and then I see them finish ahead of me. That's probably the situation how that happens. He's still riding and it all gets fixed up later. And then the leaderboards get reset. That's my guess. Be kind of cool to see if Simon gets reset right away, because at this point, 2 other riders have passed him now, Ginger Jitters and Duckman. Sorry, I've been spending a lot of time at the front today watching these riders up front, trying to get the stuff figured out. So yeah, Simon's sitting in 19th now. But in reality, if he's still pedaling, he's in 14th. So I'm definitely going to take a look afterwards. Maybe I'll put I'll comment in my own video later as to what position Simon finished in. I guess it all depends how the Rouvy server handles it. Got Phil here, 20th position. There, he just passed Simon, who appears to be broken down. And I mean, Phil's got a 3-kilometer lead over Redogma, who's only a quarter way down the descent. David 1951 is just getting to the top, ahead of Stelvio Bound, who's ahead of Keel 27. We've lost Cueto somewhere out there. But my 2 new guys, my guys, come on, dudes, you got it, are still battling their way up this hill. Yes, I love to see this. These guys might have ridden bikes for 20 years. They might be riding indoor cycling for the last 3 months. Started on some different platforms, find a platform that they think is the best. Yes, you found Rouvy, folks. You're on it. And they're powering through. No quit. Love it. Love to see this. And yeah, so here I am seeing McGill still is a level 5. Arno still is a level 9. So maybe they leveled up, but I'm not seeing it during the ride. I wonder if they did. So if any one of these 2 fellers here did level up, let me know if you see the video. Back up front, Duckman 2, Simon JP. Ooh, so he just started riding again there. So in that case, he did lose all those positions. Oh, Simon, that's brutal, man. Oh, that's hard to watch. So hopefully Simon watches the video. Simon, you're in the Discord, aren't you? I'm pretty sure you are. I'm pretty sure we're friends on Facebook too. And the fact that I'm saying that, and if we are, I apologize, just because I have so many people I talk to. But I think Simon also just had a birthday. If this is the Simon I think it is, I could be wrong. So maybe Simon, why don't you tell us maybe in the comments or in the Discord what your setup's like? Do you download all the events, like the routes beforehand? I think that really helps, like big time. And I think it's got a better chance of resetting you. Is there any chance you can maybe hardwire your PC, laptop, whatever device it is you're using to your router? Because basically you got messed up because of your Wi-Fi. That's all it is. So Simon would have finished in 14th, currently now in 20th. So yeah, like in that case, something strange was going on there, because even if he wasn't pedaling there, he still would have been descending down the hill. Okay, so folks, that's enough of that talk. We've got these last 2 riders here I'm going to cover. So Regina and Salvatore Caruso finished together. So here's another big sprint, 68 kilometers an hour. Got Duckman going out. Yeah, Ginger's just rolling into the finish. Duckman puts in a little bit. These 2 riders weren't going as fast into the finish. So that will be 17th and 18th. Phil's coming in now. Simon not far behind. And then we've got some huge gaps here, 1.7 kilometers. And people are honestly just going to be coasting down the hill, as you can see here. You know, probably little kicks down to 0. Redogma, 2 watts a kilo. Keel's on the downhill here, just coasting along here. Why not? McGill Mendez. Yeah, McGill, you're getting there, man. Arno, you're getting there. Hang in there. So McGill is starting the last climb. Arno is just finishing up the 2nd climb. And we'll still have to tackle the 3rd. Really hope he comes through with this one. I will be checking the leaderboards later. Anyway, folks, that's it for this Thursday's Muckers Worldwide Championship race. We'll catch you again real soon. Thanks for watching.